actually no issue with that deck now. It was a little tight coming back, but I have titanium sutures all in there to sew it back together.
Okay.
But I had to be in a sling and not use it for about 10 weeks.
Wow.
And that was, of course, it was my dominant hand. That was a long 10 weeks.
Yeah, that makes for a grueling recovery.
Yeah, it was rough. I was just that was the nice thing about having some stuff in my gym that, like a safety bar where I could, so I could still do some squats and not have to hang onto the bar. I was in a sling doing squatting, doing what I can, that kind of stuff. But then I had I tore my bicep. The continental clearing the axle got me like it does most strongmen at some point in their careers. And but that was, I got to say the bicep one was a pretty easy one. I remember I was at a seminar with Marshall White. He's a heavyweight pro. He doesn't compete too much anymore, but had a seminar with him here years ago, and we were talking about training. He's the bicep training. He said to me, he goes, "Oh, Matt, you ever tore your bicep?" Oh, no, I've been pretty good so far. He goes, "You will at some point." I'm like, "Great, thanks, Marshall." So now what happened? I'm like, "Oh, man, you suck." Because now it happened. But I gotta say, it was a pretty easy surgery coming back from. I think I was in a sling for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and I actually competed in a pro show in like 5.5 after that surgery, which is pretty quick. And maybe I didn't tell my doctor what I was doing, but I was fine. I had a good time in the contest. I did all right, and I had no problems.
Yeah, well, I have, knock on wood, been able to not sustain anything bad. Just little aches and pains, and I think kind of go from being almost 46 years old and doing some stupid things. Most of mine revolve around shoulder issues, which I know I don't need surgery. It's just a matter of I've just got things out of place in my shoulder. But I've been fortunate, but at the same time, I have not really truly pushed myself to certain levels. Reasons that I'm not exactly sure yet, but anyway.
Yeah, well, that's smart to just slowly build up. Like I think I say that to pretty much everyone in my gym. It's usually the guys. The girls are always smarter than guys. The guys always have a bigger ego where they want to get bigger and get stronger, and they see all these people on Instagram, moving all this weight, doing all these, and so there are just those genetic outliers, those freaks that can, they just get out and seen they're deadlifting 800 pounds out of nowhere. You're like, what the hell? And some of these people see that, they go, "Oh, wow, I got to be able to do that." And I remember I had a guy here that he kept insisting on upping his deadlift 40 pounds every single week. And I was like, that is not going to happen. I was like, you are going to hurt yourself. You got to stop. But now, sure enough, he insisted on it and kept doing it when I wasn't around, and ended up hurting himself pretty bad. So I'm always constantly trying to slow people down. Like I love the attitude of wanting to work hard and wanting to grind out a heavy set. I mean, I'd rather have that than the opposite of someone not wanting to work hard.
Yeah.
But it can be dangerous with that stuff. You're very susceptible to an injury when you're first starting out, especially the strongman stuff. It's just a lot on your body. And it really beats you up if you're not smart about it. So I'm always insisting with people, just small jumps every week. If you can get 5 pounds stronger each week in a lift, think of how strong you're going to be in 1 year.
Well,
you can do just 5 pounds.
And and sometimes 5 pounds is a huge jump, depending on the day.
If I hit a 5, I'm 36 and I've been competing for 12 years. If I hit a 5 pound PR on anything, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah. So let me ask you your mindset when it comes to coaching. There's so many different methodologies out there that, everybody says works this way. And what it boils down to is I think consistency is the key to any of those methods. But, I mean, what is your mindset when it comes to things like that?
Yeah, you just said it. Consistency is everything, and I've heard that so many times. The saying is, almost any program will work if that person believes in it and is consistent on that.
Yeah.
So, the way I do programming, I'm like I said, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I do like that kind of training. So I always love to have a lot of accessory work in there for those movements. So let's give an example, if we're training strongman or we're starting out with a log press, we'll do the log press, but then we'll work on movements that help that. So it's nothing that complicated about it. So I like doing, a main movement like the log press, and then we'll have an accessory movement that's like it. So if you log press in there, I like to also strict log press, for example, to work on that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
And then, then after that, we work on tricep movements. And that would be kind of based on what that person can do. Close grip bench, slingshot bench, incline bench, dumbbell presses, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I'm big on adding that the bodybuilding stuff is. So I'm more of a high volume kind of guy. So people I work with sometimes went for a shock when they, sometimes people just do 2 movements in a workout and that's it.
Yeah.
You talked about, Rob Kearney. You got to find out what works for you.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll tell you right now, my training may not be for everybody. That's totally fine. Someone like Rob, he'll do 2 movements. He'll log press, and then maybe he'll do some incline dumbbell or something like that. And then he's at the gym. And the guy log presses 455. So, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, him 1 or 2 movements that he had at the gym clearly works for him,
Well, but that goes back to the mindset of, so I hear this a lot in the bodybuilding world with people who are gifted with a certain body part. So say, for example, that legs, you've got tree trunk legs, but the rest of you isn't developed, so do you need to train legs 2 times a week? Not really. If you've got other lagging body parts that need to come up and, help make the proportions look right. Whereas, somebody like Rob, who is obviously a gifted presser, I won't say that he doesn't need to work hard, because I think that's an insult, because the man works hard, but he has the ability to be able to dial it back a little bit in a training session and possibly work it on something else that may not be as proficient, maybe a deadlift. What do you think on something like that?
Oh yeah, no, he definitely works hard. Yeah, I'm just jealous. That's all.
Oh yeah, no kidding, right?
No, he works his ass off. It wasn't the log press or the yoke, whatever. He works his ass off on that one movement.
Yeah.
But it's what works for him, which is great.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, I want to be big, I want to be strong, but I want to also, I like to look like a bodybuilder. I don't necessarily want to compete in that, but so I like to have that look to me as well. But also, I feel the more muscle mass you have around a joint, the stronger and the safer that joint is now going to be to support those kind of movements.
Yeah.
So that's where I like to have a lot of the accessory movements in there where, I'm big on doing a lot of arm movements because we just talked about bicep tears are super common in strongman. And, you got to have some direct bicep work in there. So that's kind of usually an argument in strongman and powerlifting. A lot of people don't want to do any direct arm movement. I'm just like, 2 exercises at the end of one of your sessions will go pretty far. You got to do something in there. Especially in powerlifting, you see a lot of bicep tears in the deadlift where they bend their elbow, traditional staggered grip, that kind of stuff. Or tricep tears on bench press. See, that's where you have to have the stronger tendons. The muscle will get stronger before the tendons do, so you got to let them catch up. But that's where doing the high reps and bodybuilding stuff really plays a role in that.
And I think a lot of people miss out on that concept of it. I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's how I like to look at things and approach it. Is essentially, after your heavy movements, that's your conditioning work. That's that work that's going to force blood into the muscles, condition those ligaments and those joints. But like you said, adding that size goes a long way to making those joints stable. I jokingly, and I don't joke about it, but a guy I used to work with, his first year as a Highland Pro, tore his bicep. So, his season really just got started and it ended for the year because of a bicep tear during a weight for distance.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this bicep tear, had the surgery, and I'm listening to a podcast that he was on about 3 months prior to, and they asked him, well, what kind of accessory work do you do? Do you do curls or anything? He goes, no, I really don't do a lot. Now, this guy's got a lot of knowledge when it comes to strength and conditioning. But when he said that, my mind went, well, I bet you changed your tune on that one now. Because
injury will definitely change somebody, yeah.
Yeah, and to me, I just don't see how people can overlook it. Whether it's time or, arrogance or just lack of education when it comes down to it, I think is maybe the biggest culprit.
And I just wrote an article on EFCS about, squatting and strongman, because I've talked to a lot of people at strongman that don't really like to squat that much. Because, unless it's an event in one of the competitions, of course you're going to do it. But a lot of times, people don't squat a whole lot. Someone I use an example of, they do now, and they're monsters, are the Hadjis.
Yeah.
So when they first got into strongman, they never squatted.
Right.
But, you know, they're deadlifting all that weight, so it's like, well, they're doing pretty well for themselves, right? So,
Yeah.
but you know what? But then they both started squatting. They both gained weight there, you know, because you look at Nick, how he's a monster. And so Zach, but they never did. And once they implemented squatting in their training, they blew up. They both got bigger. They both got stronger. Their deadlifts both went up. Their pressing went up.
Yeah.
You know, so I always think that was what I wrote the article about, was how you should definitely always squat in the program. It may not be, it's not going to be a priority because your priority is going to be the events themselves, but squatting is just going to be an accessory lift.
Well,
you got to treat it as such.
And I think people, you know, assume that when you're going to squat, it has to be with a straight bar, and I think people miss the point on what we're doing with the squatting, because, you know, straight bars can have a lot of stress with the shoulder mobility and things like that. So, you know, now with the way safety bar squats are kind of designed, you know, I see a lot more competitive strongman going to that type of squat training as opposed to a straight bar squat training.
Yeah, I actually only squat with a safety bar right now, because when I'm doing powerlifting, of course, I'll use a Buffalo bar, I'll use a straight bar.
Right.
But it takes a toll, and that was one of the things I wrote about, was it does beat up your elbows and your shoulders quite a bit. If you're a bigger guy anyway, you know, and a lot of people who are, you know, strongmen are going to have some pretty tight shoulders from all the overhead pressing we do and all that. So,
yeah.
You know, it's pretty tough for me to get into a straight bar. Yeah, it takes me quite a while to warm up for that. You know, like talk about Justin.
Yeah.
He's getting ready, and he's, you know, and I have him squatting on the Buffalo bar right now. And we're going to ease him into working the straight bar, but it beats up your elbows and shoulders. So if you're a strongman, you're probably going to be pressing twice a week. You know, the Arnold right now, I have two pressing events. I have a log press, and then I have a press medley. So I'm pressing twice a week. So it's like, if my elbows and shoulders are beat up just from squatting, it really defeats the whole purpose of it. So I'm just squatting with a safety bar, and then I'll do front squats, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel if you're a competitive strongman, and, you know, especially if you're a bigger guy that has issues like that, you should not be squatting the straight bar at all. Keep it with a safety bar. There's no reason to.
I'm excited because, you know, my garage, I've spent, you know, a few years, we'll just say that, collecting equipment. So, I mean, I've got a log, I've got 2 axles, I've got a bunch of kegs and stones and a nice squat rack and bench and all this stuff. I had a client buy me one of the transformer bars from Kabuki Strength.
Yep, yeah, it's a great bar.
I still haven't gotten it yet. It's been on back order because they got so overwhelmed with sales of it after Black Friday. But it's just like, I can't wait to get it, because I'm like, I'm going to try every position.
Yeah, it's a very cool bar. That's actually the bar that I've been using for the safety bar squats. I've been using that.
Okay.
It's very comfortable. I will say this though, at the bottom setting, it is tough on your upper back. It pulls you down hard, which is a good thing. I mean, it makes it very tough to stay upright.
Right.
So I've been using it. Yeah, I've been back squatting with it. It's been really nice. Yeah, you definitely like that bar. Well, I think that's what makes this great. His Buffalo bar, I absolutely love. That's great more for powerlifting. I say having that kind of bar for, you know, it's kind of in between of the safety bar and the straight bar, where you can kind of still get in position. Like it's having Justin, you guys kind of ease him into using a straight bar eventually. So it's a nice transition from the safety bar to the straight bar.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing when you have, you know, a gym like ours where you can get those kind of things. It's tough when you know, because I work with a lot of people who train at a commercial gym during the week, and then they have to go to a strongman gym and, you know, drive 2 hours on a Saturday and get it in there. Where it's kind of tough to fit all that in, where they can only get into one event day a week.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing that I feel fortunate about is, you know, I've got my garage it's pretty well stacked, and we're about ready to get. There we go. Nice traffic, people. Yeah, I just avoided getting rear-ended somebody else. That was fun. Woohoo! Blood pressure's rising. Okay, let's go run. But I you know, and in the String Depot, which Shane and Tina have done a wonderful job of getting a lot of great equipment. But I've been training out of my Powerhouse gym, which is actually the world headquarters for Powerhouse. But I was in there last night, and you know, they've got an axle bar, and it was my pressing night. I'm like going, you know what? Cool.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do some clean-up presses in the commercial gym, and I was just excited that they had it. Now that's like the only piece of strongman equipment they have, but I was like, cool. And people are like looking at me weird, and I'm like, yeah, it's just cleaning and pressing. We're good.
Yeah.
Move along. But so let me ask you, change still with the mindset of coaching. I think one of my biggest pet peeves with the way so it's not really a pet peeve. I think growth in the sport is awesome, and there's always going to be growing pains. But